Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day, your week, and your weekend have been going very well so far. This is Clash of the Titans, a video series here at Guy Boston Sports where I go through each and every single ranked, unranked matchup throughout the entire college football season, giving you guys deeper insight, deeper analysis, but more importantly, more picks for each of these big-time pivotal college football showdowns. In today's video, we are going to be covering number 20 ranked USC, going on the road taking on number 13 ranked Notre Dame in a big-time rivalry showdown in South Bend with massive college football playoff implications. But more importantly, guys, I've got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. This is one of 5 Clash of the Titans videos coming out on the channel this week, so make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and check out all of our college football content. I'll make sure to go ahead and pin the playlist here in the video so you guys can go ahead and check out all of our content for week 8. I think 6 total videos, so a ton of college football content on the channel. And one last thing before we dive into the picks, please go ahead and comment down below who you think is going to win this rivalry matchup between USC and Notre Dame. Obviously, and I will mention it right off the bat, you guys know I am a Notre Dame football fan, but I am very much unbiased when it comes to making picks. Don't believe me, I literally bet against Notre Dame, I think, in both the Miami and A&M games this year. So, not actually, but like in the video, I gave out those picks. So, don't be afraid by hearing me say I'm a Notre Dame fan. Trust me, I'm unbiased. I got a great video for you guys. All right, guys, with the Notre Dame fan disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the picks. I have 4 picks to share with you guys in today's video. I have a spread pick, a total pick, and 2 player props to go and share with you guys for this USC Notre Dame showdown. And we'll go ahead and dive right in. Our first pick in today's video is our spread pick. And remember I just said about the disclaimer? I'm still going Notre Dame here on the spread, minus 8.5. And I'm telling you, it's not a biased pick. It's not a fan pick. I have legitimate reasons why I think Notre Dame will win and cover in this spot. Jumping on over to the outline screen here. So Notre Dame minus 8.5. I'm grabbing that for minus 125 over on FanDuel. Best odds available to me. But as always, guys, make sure to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you, because what's best for me may not be what's best for you. Now, the actual spread is 9.5. I basically shaved 1 point off. Why? Because I'm a weirdo, and I've been burned so many times by 1 point in these games where I just shave a point off just to be safe, and the value is still there. Notre Dame minus 8.5. Like I said, guys, I know a lot of people are going to click off this video or jump to the comments and say, what a troll, and, you know, fan bet and all these different things. I'm telling you, I like Notre Dame a lot in this spot from a matchup perspective. It should be noted right off the bat, these are 2 of the best offenses right now in college football. Let's go ahead and throw both offenses on the screen here, and you'll see Notre Dame 13th in points per game, USC 3rd. You look at third down conversion percentage, both top 20, both top 20 in passing yards per game. The fact that Notre Dame's only 50th in rushing yards per game is kind of crazy because they, in my opinion, have the best tandem running back duo in college football with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. They have been dominant as a 1-2 punch. USC's rushing yards per game is actually higher, but I think all of us can probably agree Notre Dame's rushing attack far more potent than USC. Both tie for top 10 yards per play. Both teams protect the football pretty well. Offensive line play, both top 50. Notre Dame leaves a little bit to be desired, but a lot of those numbers are from the first couple games versus Miami and A&M. They have been better over the last several weeks. Point being, guys, both of these offenses are elite, and I like the matchup here for both teams. Now, obviously, spoiler, I actually love the over in the spot. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But a couple factors here for Notre Dame. First and foremost, this game is at home in South Bend, Indiana. Nighttime game. They had the home field advantage. That's going to be massive in this spot. Second, there's the motivation factor. This is Notre Dame's entire season on the line. Now, I'm not going to say it's not the same for USC because obviously they need this win badly if they want to make the college football playoff. But for Notre Dame as a 2-loss team, they lose this game, it's over. You can kiss the playoff goodbye. They're still going to play in a bowl game, but any aspirations for the playoff or anything beyond that, done. Finished. Finute. Beyond the fact they have to avoid a 3rd loss here, they also need a quality win because so far of their 4 wins, find me the quality win. Is it NC State? Is it Boise State? I don't think it's Purdue. Where is the quality win there if you're Notre Dame? And that's kind of the big problem here. Beating USC would be their first true quality win this year, and they need that for their resume. One of the big things after the A&M loss people talked about with Notre Dame was how are they going to go ahead and build a solid resume? Well, luckily for them, USC's had a very good year. they're ranked, it's an opportunity to put a ranked win on your resume that a lot of people weren't sure if they'd have. So beyond avoiding a loss, they need this win bad for the resume. But again, USC has similar motivations, but as a 2-loss team, USC can still bounce back in the Big Ten. Notre Dame, they lose this game, it's over. So you have the season-ending factor. They have to win this game. It's the definition of a must-win game. You're at home, nighttime game. They've also dominated this rivalry of late. Notre Dame has won 4 of the last 5 matchups against USC, and in 3 of those 4 wins, they beat USC by at least 14 points. You got a 14-point win. I think there was a 28-point win, a 15-point win. So pretty dominating victories over USC over the last 5 or 6 years or so. Also, Notre Dame has had a very good track record at home versus USC, winning 5 straight in South Bend. So you have the recent rivalry success for Notre Dame backing them. 2 great head coaches in Marcus Freeman and Lincoln Riley, and I know Lincoln Riley's got a lot of love in college football, though I think it's starting to fade a little bit. Marcus Freeman is honestly proven, and there's already talks about him being a young James Franklin and all this stuff. He's proven it. He's won some big games. They went to the national title game. They've won big-time games. Now, I know this year so far, they've lost both of their big-time matchups. To be fair, Miami's number 2 and Texas A&M is number 4. So they basically have 2 top 5 losses, and they lost both those games by 3 points or less. So this Notre Dame team, although they don't have a quality win, they are battle-tested. USC, they played a couple decent games. They played Michigan, Illinois. They lost to Illinois. They beat Michigan. I still think Notre Dame's a little bit more battle-tested because even in their non-ranked games, I mean, NC State's not a pushover. Boise State obviously was a playoff team from last year. Arkansas, SEC team. So, I think Notre Dame's definitely, I think they had the toughest schedule in college football. I think PFF graded. According to PFF, Notre Dame has had the 2nd toughest schedule in college football to date. USC, 80th. So Notre Dame, a little bit more battle-tested. You also have the fact that USC is traveling cross-country here, traveling to Notre Dame. Obviously, these cross-country travels with the new college football realignment, although this is a rivalry game where they typically do travel cross-country, so it's not too different from them. Again, just kind of rattling off all the reasons I like Notre Dame in this spot, but the one I really haven't talked about here is the matchup of Notre Dame's offense versus USC's defense. Now, obviously, we'll talk about this real quick. USC's offense has a clear advantage against Notre Dame's defense. Notre Dame has a very strong run defense that has been consistent and carried over from last year, but their pass defense has been a problem. The transition from Al Golden to Chris Ash, a defensive coordinator, has been very messy, and their pass defense is a bit of a problem. Well, especially when you're playing the 2nd best passing offense in college football in terms of yards per game, it's a bit of an issue. So that's the one area USC can definitely go ahead and attack Notre Dame. That being said, Notre Dame has been getting better over the last several weeks. Now, granted, take it with a grain of salt because it's against the likes of NC State and Boise State and Arkansas and Purdue and the other schools. But the defense has been playing better of late. This will be a true test to see if it's gotten better. But this was a very strong defense last year. They lost some pieces, yes, but they were supposed to be a very good defense this year as well. They're starting to turn around a little bit, but we'll see if it's really a turnaround or just playing weaker competition. But Notre Dame's offense should have success here against USC. They are top 20 in the nation in passing yards per game. USC's pass defense has not been very good, honestly, in the same level of Notre Dame's. And although USC's run defense ranks decently, Notre Dame has the best rushing attack in college football. They're going to be able to go ahead and attack that defense. I think they have a clear advantage both in the passing offense, rushing offense. They're going to be able to score a healthy amount of points here on USC. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a shootout, but ultimately, I trust Notre Dame's defense a little more than USC's, and I trust their offense a little more than USC's. We've seen Notre Dame go toe-to-toe with Miami, with A&M, and hang in there and score a healthy amount of points. USC, again, they played tough. They lost to Illinois, but they played tough, and they beat Michigan. A couple decent opponents there. But I just trust the experience and the playmaking of Notre Dame with Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love a little bit more than USC. And I do think, I know the spread's a little bit higher in the way I'm talking about this game. You would think it'd be a little closer, but I do think Notre Dame's defense will play better than they had in the first couple weeks of the season. I think they're going to be able to outpace USC here in this spot. So Notre Dame, -8.5, -125. That's my spread pick for this game. And one last point before we move on to the total. And we won't spend too much time on the total because I've kind of already alluded to a lot of the reasons why I like the over here. But the insights provided by Outlier, Notre Dame are 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games at home. The only times they failed to cover, Texas A&M in Louisville over the last 2 years. So pretty good numbers. You see some good teams there. Indiana, Florida State, although Florida State last year was not very good. But you've seen them against a couple quality opponents cover the spread at home. And like I said, guys, my second pick in this video is the over 59.5, which I'm grabbing from -124 over on Novig, best odds available to me. Like I said, the over to me is pretty self-explanatory. Both high-powered offenses against defenses with some question marks. We have the insights provided by Outlier. USC has hit the over in 6 of their last 8 games, so obviously you have that going for you. In terms of this individual line of 59.5, USC has cashed it in 4 of their 6 games this year. Only the Michigan game and the Purdue game did they not cash this total, but obviously a very high-scoring team. They give up some decent amount of points, and they score a lot of points. And for Notre Dame, it's 50-50. 3 games they let this over cash. 3 games they didn't. The Miami game was a close under there. And then I talked about it, the NC State and Boise State games. Notre Dame's defense has been playing better the last couple of weeks. They still score a healthy amount of points, but only giving up 7 points in each of their last 2 matchups versus NC State and Boise State. With the matchups with their defense and the offense, I just think the over is a great play. And I know it's the public. Now, right now, the public seems to be actually more on the under because the line that keeps going higher. I think this is a guaranteed overplay. This is going to be a shootout in South Bend. I got 2 picks left in today's video, guys, both of them being our player props. But first, before we finish off with those 2 player props, I want to talk to you guys quickly about the sponsor of today's video, Epic. Epic Fantasy is a new DFS fantasy app that is going to absolutely dominate the game. If you like player props, this is a great place to go ahead and play. They offer better lines and better payouts than the competition out there. And that is just within their pick'em mode, in which you pick more or less based on player stats. The real unique thing about Epic is that fact that you actually go into the fade 'em section and fade other players' entries. Yup, that's right, guys. Even if they get one part of their entry wrong, you walk home with the bag. Go try Epic today. Use code GUYBOSTON, and they'll match your first deposit up to $50. Link will be in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Special thank you to Epic for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, wrapping things up with our 2 player props. First off, we've got Jadarian Price over 69.5 rushing yards here, which I'm grabbing for -118 over on FanDuel. Jeremiah Love's not a terrible bet, but the difference between the two is that line for Jeremiah Love is much higher. It's, I think, 90-plus yards versus Jadarian Price. We just need him to get 70. He's cashed in 3 of 6 games this year, 74 yards versus Purdue, 86 yards versus Arkansas, 83 yards versus Boise State. And 2 of the games where he did miss the mark, he's 68 yards versus Texas A&M, missed it by 2 yards, and 66 yards versus NC State last week, missed it by 4 yards. So even when he's missed the mark, he's kind of hung around there in that spot. We also have good head-to-head numbers. The last time he played USC last year, he had 111 rushing yards on November 30th of last year against USC. So pretty good numbers here, honestly, for Jadarian Price. Even if you go to the last 5 games, 3 of his last 5, averaging 75.4 rushing yards per game. Again, I know USC's run defense ranks pretty decently in terms of yards per game. However, PFF has USC's run defense graded as the 62nd ranked run defense in college football. So in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, the numbers aren't bad, but if you look at some other numbers, USC does not have a great run defense, and I do think that Notre Dame can go ahead and attack that with their 2 running back model here. And he does get a healthy amount of carries. Obviously, Jeremiah Love still dominates the run share, but he still gets a 30.3% run share here this year for Notre Dame. So I think him getting 70 yards is not too crazy. Look at some other running backs. Jordan Marshall for Michigan. He's the 2nd running back there. Obviously, Justice Haynes, got hurt in that game, but he had 68 yards. Caden Fegan for Illinois had 60. Mekhi Frazier for Michigan State, he had 61. So you've seen a couple of these running backs have success against USC. I think Jadarian Price definitely can have a big day here. All right, guys, on our 4th and final pick in today's video, we've got Mekhi Lemon of the USC Trojans here over 95.5 receiving yards. We're grabbing that for -114 over on FanDuel. Pretty good numbers this year. 3 of 6 games this year, he's cashed the over. It's a 50% hit rate, averaging 113.67 receiving yards per game. Look at the last 5 games, 3 of his last 5, averaging 118.4 receiving yards per game. So pretty good numbers across the board here from a last 5 perspective, from an overall perspective. From a head-to-head standpoint, he had 133 receiving yards when USC played Notre Dame on November 30th of last year. Mekhi Lemon dominates the target share here, a 29.4% target share this year in the USC passing offense. And obviously, they do throw the ball a decent rate, slightly below league average, but still pretty good. And we have seen some wide receivers go off against Notre Dame. Terrell Anderson for NC State had 57 yards. Let's see, Chris Marshall for Boise State had 58 yards. Omega Blake, what a great name, from Arkansas, he had 73 yards. And you go early in the year, like Mario Craver from Texas A&M had 207. Casey Concepcion, great name again, 82 yards for A&M. So you've seen some wide receivers, Nitro Nitro Tuggle, excuse me, from Purdue. A lot of great names here for wide receivers. Michael Jackson. A lot of good Omega Blake. A lot of great wide receivers have had some good games against Notre Dame, and it makes sense. They're 106th in the nation in receiving yards allowed per game. So I like the spot a lot from Makai Lemon. USC is going to throw the football a healthy amount in this spot, considering Notre Dame's pass defense and the weaknesses they've had. Makai Lemon should have a big day. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We have a ton of more videos coming out. We still have 2 more Clash of the Titans videos dropping after this one drops. We have our LSU Vanderbilt and Ole Miss Georgia videos are already out, as well as our full Week 8 college football picks video. So check all that stuff out, guys. It's all there. Great picks across all those videos. Until next time, I hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money, baby. Let's go.